y'all. Welcome back to Letter Grades from Lucha Lounge. Let me tell you, week 2 of Best of the Super Juniors 32, Block B, brought the drama, the upsets, and the heartbreak. So I gave you a little bit of a poem last week, but I think this week I can give you more of a formal review and give my quick thoughts of Block B and the 3 nights of action that we got for this week. So, without further ado, just to let you know, we are diving into the action from May 17th in Yoyogi, May 18th in Hachijoji, and all the Block B showcase on May 22nd in Osaka, Japan. So let's get into these matches. Who's climbing, who's stumbling, and who just pulled off a tournament-altering win. So without further ado, let's kick things off with the May 17th showing in Yoyogi. So first up, we're going to talk about Ryusuke Taguchi versus Yo. Basically, what I'm going to do is for all these, I'm going to give about a sentence or two summary and let you know what happened. So as far as Ryusuke Taguchi versus Yo goes, Taguchi continues to pull sneaky little wins out of nowhere, but it makes a lot of sense given the fact that this man is part of Chaos and comedy, and sneaking out wins is kind of part of their action. So it was due to a flash pin on Yo, who couldn't keep the momentum going. And for Yo and his showing in this tournament, Yo is either surging or stumbling, but there's no in between for Yo. So Ryusuke Taguchi defeats Yo to earn points on the board for this match in Yo-Yo. Next up, we're going to talk about Sho versus Robbie Eagles. So we get more House of Torture antics, as we are all already aware of when we are talking about the House of Torture. But again, House of Torture tactics, you already know. But Sho here, surprisingly enough, kept just enough of a balance between the shenanigans of House of Torture and enough of actual structure in a wrestling match to make it work. Unfortunately, Robbie Eagles did get caught up in all of this, and Sho slithered his way to a win, earning himself 2 points on the board at the expense of Robbie Eagles. Next, we have Taiji Ishimori versus Titan. This was a really solid match. I really love this match. And Titan is slowly coming back in the tournament. He's had a rocky start on and off winning last week, but Titan is slowly heating back up here. Titan's speed was able to overwhelm Taiji Ishimori here, and Titan's submissions are looking so lethal and so deadly. And as somebody who reviews CMLL here at BC Wrestle, I'm really excited to see Titan bounce back, and he picks up the win here by defeating Taiji Ishimori, earning himself 2 points on the board. In the semi-final match for the Block B bracket of the Yoyogi show, we have Kevin Knight versus Nick Wayne. These are our two quote-unquote American/Gaijin wrestlers coming into the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. And honestly, I was expecting Nick to win, but boy was I wrong, and this was definitely a shocker. Going into this match, 0-0, no points on the board, not winning anything. And again, Kevin came in focused, he came in explosive, and he got a statement win against the front runner of Block B right now in Nick Wayne. So we started to see a huge shift in the momentum here, and Nick Wayne's perfect run came to an end at the expense of Kevin Knight, who finally got 2 points on the board. And Kevin, we're going to talk about you a little bit later because you had a fantastic week. But Nick Wayne suffered his first loss here against Kevin Knight. But Nick, we're going to talk about you a little bit later because you still were able to maintain your momentum somewhat towards the end of the week. Finally, the last match to happen for B Block Yogi Show was Mao versus El Desperado. This was a really great match, and honestly, this was my favorite match of the Yoyogi show for Block B because we got wrestling, we got Tupperware, we got everything. Mao doing crazy things. I've become such a big fan of Mao that I'm wanting to check out more of DDT wrestling, and I'm wanting to see if maybe we could possibly do that. But man, I enjoyed this match. This was my favorite match of the Yoyogi show on May 17th. El Desperado, however, is able to fend off Mao. Mao threw the kitchen sink early, but Desperado absorbed it, adapted, locked him down. And Despy looked a little composed, but a little more ruthless so far in this tournament. That is the El Desperado, the Despy that we love. El Desperado defeats Mao, earning 2 points for this. And that takes care of our May 17th Yo-Yogi section of the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. So now let's get into the May 18th show, which was taking place in Hachioji. So I want to pronounce these right, so bear with me. Hachioji, there we go. So we kick things off with Nick Wayne versus Ryusuke Taguchi. So again, Ryusuke Taguchi doing, the comedy bits and all that stuff here. But despite losing to Kevin Knight the previous evening in Yo-Yogi, Nick Wayne was able to rebound quickly here. And despite losing, he still was able to come in much cleaner, more confident in himself. And unfortunately, Taguchi's tricks could not land this time. Nick Wayne looked sharp, and Nick Wayne was able to easily bounce back from his loss. And Nick Wayne defeated Ryusuke Taguchi to get himself 2 points and built him back up on the leaderboard. Next up, we have Yo versus Mao. So this match, I'm going to be honest, I was expecting Mr. Yo here to lose here. And going into this match, I knew and I thought that Yo needed this win. He needed this match like right now. Yeah, Yo needed this badly. Mao's chaos was there, as we have come to see him so far in the tournament. Yo kept it technical, grounded the pace, and was able to seal the deal. Yo defeated Mao, and Yo getting 2 more points onto the board. Now giving him a little bit of leeway, even though he's still far from the top of the leaderboard, which we're going to talk about at the very end of where everybody in Block B stands. In your semi-final match of Block B for the Hachioji show was Taiji Ishimori versus Robbie Eagles. This was a lot of fun, and honestly, on paper, this was the match that I was most excited for, and it did not disappoint. Taiji Ishimori and Robbie Eagles are both technical prowess types of wrestlers, and they both have a lot in their arsenal. And this is exactly what I wanted from these two. This was a technical chess match. Robbie brought the intensity, but Ishimori was just a little bit smarter and more precise here. And that seatbelt is deadly when Taiji Ishimori nails it. This was my favorite match of the Hachioji shows. Taiji Ishimori does defeat Robbie Eagles. Taiji earns himself 2 points, and he continues to slowly make his way back to the top of the leaderboard, but Robbie is still also hanging on. So truly anybody's game right now. Finally, what was our final match and what main evented for Block B was El Desperado versus Show. And as soon as I saw this match, I was like, here we go. This is going to be crazy. This is wild. And of course, we got everything that we are no show for House of Torture shenanigans. Show cheated. Despy endured. Show cheated again. He took the mask of Despy here, which was crazy. And Despy still won despite all this. So what is the lesson for us to learn here? A tale as old as time. El Desperado understands Show's playbook better than anybody else. El Desperado defeats Show, earning 2 more points in Block B. So that takes care of the May 18th show from Hachioji. So now let's get into the final show to happen this week for B Block, which is just an all B Block show on May 22nd, coming to us from Osaka. So first up, more comedic wrestlers in Block B, with Ryusuke Taguchi of Chaos and Mao from DDP was fantastic. This was a lot of fun. I love this match. It was so much fun to watch these two go back and forth. Mao finally, after taking back-to-back losses and kind of losing his footing this week, finally recalibrated to come back more balanced. This was still a wild match and smart, and he was able to outmaneuver Ryusuke Taguchi, and it ended up in a flash pin parade. Mao defeats Ryusuke Taguchi, finally getting himself 2 points and starting to get back onto the leaderboard for Block B. Next up, we have Titan and Robbie Eagles. This was a really fun match. Robbie's redemption arc truly began here in this match after taking losses to his opponents earlier in the week. Robbie Eagles was able to redeem himself here. Don came in hard and fast like he is known to do, but Robbie was able to match every single move and hit with precision in this match. Again, Robbie Eagles being part of TMDK, they're very well known for their technical prowess, and that came into play that would allow Robbie to pull out the win here. And his back was against the wall. Robbie needed this win badly, and he got it. Robbie Eagles defeated Titan and earned 2 points for himself. In the semi-main event for Block B, we had Nick Wayne versus Taiji Ishimori. This again was probably my favorite match of the Osaka shows. Nick Wayne's speed was able to be met with, Ishimori smart. This was a game of who can outlast and outplay the other. And in this case, in the contest of speed versus smarts would end up winning this match. Taiji Ishimori was able to ground Nick Wayne, exploit the leg, and pull out a huge win. Taiji Ishimori defeats Nick Wayne, and Taiji earns 2 points for himself. Finally, what main evented for Block B in Osaka was El Desperado versus Yo. And just like the previous match where Taiji caused an upset by defeating Nick Wayne, this match gave us another upset. Yo was able to catch and capitalize on El Desperado with one mistake, and honestly, you could feel the tension with this one. Yo really needed this win, and he capitalized on it. This is a huge win for Yo, and we can see from here that El Desperado, even though he is the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, his armor is beginning to crack, and it's showing that El Desperado is not untouchable. Yo defeats El Desperado, earning himself 2 points on the board. So that is the end of the week 2 review for Block B. So overall, week 2, it completely blew this block wide open. Kevin Knight went from being winless at the end of week 1 to red hot. He has 3 straight wins, getting himself on the board. Nick Wayne was the front runner leading into the end of week 1, but now in week 2, Nick is starting to fall a little bit. Not only did he lose once, he lost twice this week. Titan slipped a little bit. Despy stumbles. Show is show, and he's still there. So there is going to be that. There's a lot of shift of momentum in this match, which I really love. So now that we've done that, let's take a look at the official standings after this week of Block B of Best of the Super Junior 32. So still standing at the top of the leaderboard with a win record of 4-2 with 8 points is Nick Wayne, but followed close behind is a, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-way tie for second place. Each with a record of 3-3 with 6 points each. We have El Desperado, Mal, Itaguchi, Taiji Ishimori, Robbie Eagles, Yo and Titan, and Kevin Knight all have 6 points. They are only 2 points behind the front runner, Nick Wayne. So at this point, it could truly be any's game. And then, of course, bringing up the rear in dead last with 4 points with a record of 2-4 so far in the tournament is Show. Again, if anything is Show can still come back in week 3 and we could see a huge change. And with this tie for second place with 6 points, it truly can be anybody's game. And Nick Wayne has to be careful because with 2 losses this week, everybody is slowly coming back up to him. So Nick Wayne, if he wants to keep at the top of the leaderboard, is going to have to lock in, and he is going to have to be able to continue his dominant performances if he has a chance of making it to the finals of the tournament. So with just 1 week left, and this thing is dead even. Block B is dead even. We are 1 point swing, and somebody goes from first to 9th in this case, or last, which is crazy. This is the kind of chaos, though, that we love to see in the Best of the Super Juniors. And this is my first time covering it, and I've been enjoying it so far. But let me know in the comments below, who do you think is going to the finals? Is it still Nick Wayne's block to lose? Is Kevin Knight making a miracle run? Or is someone lurking in the shadows like Ishii or El Desperado ready to steal it late in the game? This has been Letter Grades from the Lucha Lounge, and I'll see you next week for the final stretch of Block B. So until then, class is Thank you so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's gonna happen next time? Well, you're gonna have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.